If you're thinking about moving into Las Vegas, you're in good company. There are thousands of people who move here into Las Vegas every single year. And as someone who helps families relocate into Las Vegas, there are some things that you must avoid. There's been mistakes that I've seen that have been made when they make their move out here, and I'm going to go over every single one of them. If you don't know who I am, I'm Matthew Bergdorf. I'm a real estate agent here in Las Vegas. I help families relocate into the Las Vegas Valley. Okay, so as we get moving into the 10 mistakes, I also have a relocation guide down below. If you would like to get that, just pop in your information. I'll email it directly to you. And if you would like to have a more in-depth conversation about what would it look like if you wanted to move to Las Vegas, I have a Calendly link down below. You can schedule a 15-minute, no pressure conversation about moving into Las Vegas. Okay, let's get into the 10 mistakes I see people make when they move into Las Vegas. Okay, mistake number 1, not spending enough time figuring out where they should move in Las Vegas. Okay, when it comes to moving into Vegas, people think, I just want to be close to the Strip. Well, I'm here to tell you today, you might not be super excited with that move. You might want to be somewhere in the Northwest where you have easy access to Mount Charleston. You might want to be somewhere in the Southeast in Henderson because you want to be close to Boulder City and Lake Mead. Or maybe you want to be in Southern Highlands because you want a golf community that you want to be a part of, or a guard-gated community like Rhodes Ranch. So there are opportunities and neighborhoods that you need to familiarize yourself with, and that way you can make the best, most informed decision on where you want to live. Now, each one of these neighborhoods have their own amenities, their own character, and of course, HOA price. If you've heard of Spanish Trails before, they have a tiered HOA system based on the golf course. And so you could have a different level of HOA costs on that. You could be at a place like Anthem Country Club, where they just tripled the HOA on all of their constituents because they had a water assessment they had to do. So pay attention to where you're going to go, because HOAs cost a lot of money. Year over year, you're just throwing money just to live in a neighborhood. So again, pay attention to where you're going to go. And again, if it fits your lifestyle and it makes sense to pay those fees, then great, that's fine. But if you don't and you're paying these fees, and you're like, I don't know why I'm paying for these fees, my quality of life isn't any better because of paying these fees, maybe it's a better time to maybe possibly think about selling and then moving to a different place. I actually had a client who sold their home in Sun City, Summerlin, because the HOA dues were over $500 a month, and they were not using any of the amenities that Sun City Summerlin had. So they sold and they moved into Sun City Anthem. And now their HOA is $140 a month. They just saved $400 a month just right there. So anyways, that's mistake number 1. Pay attention to where you're going to live, what the HOA fees are going to be, what lifestyle that could potentially make for you and your family, and just be aware of that. Okay, mistake number 2 is people who typically come here from like Washington, California, Florida, and Illinois. Those states, yes, they have some warm summers, but it's very different coming here and having a heat wave here. Okay, yes, it's a dry heat, but I could tell you firsthand, when you first time you see that 118 degree weather and you go outside, I'm telling you, I personally love it, but everyone that I talk to, they open the door and they feel like they're on the inside of a toaster. So they go right back inside. So I'm telling you, if you don't know what that weather is like, spend a few weeks here, come out here, spend a few weeks, just see how it's like. I tell people, in my experience, it takes 3 summers to get used to the heat here. So that being said, be aware that the heat is intense here. There are 6 months of heat here. From June and through September, it's going to be triple-digit heat the whole time. You're rarely going to get below that triple-digit heat. This summer, we've been pretty fortunate. June was very, very mild. I think it was like around 90-something degrees the whole time and 70-something degrees in the mornings. So it was a great weather. But now we're in August, and it's in the triple digits pretty much all the time. So just be aware of the heat. Mistake number 3 is It's a little bit of part number one, which is not researching your HOAs. Okay, we want to make sure that when you're going through your purchase, there is a document you get where you get all the bylaws and rules and regulations for your HOA, and you want to make sure that you read through those and you understand what the HOA is. You have 5 days from when you get it to review everything in that HOA and make sure that it is up to where you want to live. Because if you want to paint your house green and pink and purple, and the HOA standard says it can be beige, brown, or white, or a cream color, like, it's not going to work out. You're not going to be able to paint your house, or you're going to have a violation from your HOA. Mistake number 4, which is going to be making sure you budget for your utilities. How often I've talked with people coming into Vegas and they say, I could sell my house in California, move over here, it'll be super cheap, yada, yada, yada. And then they get their first electric bill in August and they realize that their electric bill was $450. Again, that's coming from California to here, that's probably still cheaper. But if you're coming from, say, Washington, where your summer electricity bill was like $34, and you come over here and then your HOA or your electricity bill is $450, yeah, that's going to be quite the shock for the person coming from a place that's not super warm in the summer. So pay attention to your utility costs. You shouldn't be running your water all day long trying to keep your ficus alive out in your backyard. More often than not, you're going to want desert landscaping with as little watering going on as possible. It's just pay attention to your utility usage and make sure you budget and over budget just in case for those summer months when you're using lots of water and lots of electricity. The wintertime, you're going to be using a little bit more gas, but even in the summertime for a big house, you're probably going to be under $150 for your gas usage. So it's really cheap. Mistake number 5 is going to be if you're coming from a Chicago, a New York, Boston, DC, places with robust transportation. If you're coming here and you do not have a car, you are going to have to move here and buy a car. Bar none. You will not be able to get around without the car. Yes, you can do it with Uber and there's rideshare apps that you can get around, but you're going to be spending quite a bit of money getting from place to place. On average, it's about 30 minutes commute time to get pretty much anywhere in the valley. It would just be ideal if you could just walk into your garage, turn on your car, and zip out and get to where you need to go. If you have to wait 20 minutes for your Uber and then takes 30 minutes to get there, that's already almost an hour of time when you could have just been there and almost back in the same time it was for you to get there. So you will need a car. The public transportation is okay here, but it's not great by any stretch of the means. The infrastructure just doesn't really exist. If you're a family and you ignore the school zone and the way that it's zoned, okay, you want to pay attention to where these school zones are, and they do change. So you have to make sure you're in an area that might not get cut off. There was one area in Henderson that it took this street, went around this little neighborhood and had this little section. Well, 2 years later, that section was cut off. And so this family moved into that section, and because the school zone changed, their kid had to go to a different school. They were not in the school zone for that other school. Even though it was closer, it just made sense they would go there. The school zone was redrawn, and they had to move because the school zone, that one spot, they got pushed to a different school. So pay attention to the school zone, and again, that could help your property value. You might be closer to the school, it might help your property value. So pay attention to the school zone. Okay, number 7, I kind of touched on it a minute ago, is going to be commute time. Most often than not, we're looking around 30 minutes to get anywhere in the city. Now, 5 years ago, it used to be 20 minutes to get everywhere. But we've had such an influx of people moving into Las Vegas, specifically from California, because of the poor political climate over there and the really high cost of living and the insane tax and insane business regulation. They've all left California and they're coming here to Vegas. And so our population is exploding here, and it's causing a little bit more congestion. So we're at about 30 minutes on average to get anywhere in the Strip. But if you're coming from Lake Mead and you're trying to go to Sky Canyon, the two opposite corners, you're looking at an hour and 15, hour and a half to get from one end to the other, especially if it's during rush hour traffic and you're hitting traffic on 95 or 15. It's going to take some time. But if you're going to go from Summerlin to Summerlin South, it'll still only be 10 minutes. It's really, really close by. Or Henderson from Green Valley to Anthem, it's 10 minutes. It's really close by. So people that are moving into town, and they misjudge the time to commute. I had someone ask me, would it be smart to buy in Mesquite and travel to South Henderson for their work, because the cost of living in Mesquite is way cheaper than it is in Las Vegas. And I told them it would be that's a 2-hour commute every single day, one way. So are you want to commute 4 hours? I mean, I know my friends in California are commuting 4 hours every day, but they only live 30 miles from their work. This is like 100 miles away. Anyways, so you get the idea. The commute times are important. Pay attention to where you live and what your commute would be for work. Okay, mistake number 8. Now, I recommend every one of my buyers to get a home inspection, but there are times, based on where they've come from in the past, typically these are your East Coast people, they will not get a home inspection. I've seen it, but it is important you get the home inspection, know about the bones and structure of the house, make sure all the systems are online, make sure everything is in good working order, the roof isn't damaged, the HVAC has the proper splits, the water in your house is appropriate, all the things. You want to make sure everything is in good working order before you buy the house. So you want to avoid any costly mistakes from buying the house without a home inspection. And I've seen it. So again, make sure you get that home inspection. Mistake number 9, which is going to be moving into Las Vegas the wrong time of year. So if you're moving here in July or August, it will be very hot. So just make sure that when you move here, if you can make it to where it's like a fall or a spring move time, or even in the wintertime, it's really not that bad. It's 50 degrees outside. Easy to move in when it's 50 degrees outside. It's a little bit more difficult to move in when it's 118 degrees outside. And I don't know what personal belongings you're bringing here from your truck, but if it is an item that needs to be stored at a specific temperature, it may be damaged. So pay attention to when you move here, that you move here at the right appropriate time. If you have to do it in the summertime, you can do it. Just be aware that the people you hire to help you move yourself, there's heat exhaustion, heat stroke. Make sure that you bring enough water, electrolytes to keep yourself cool. Maybe work for 30 minutes and then take 10 minutes to cool down in the house. You get the idea. Mistake number 10 is trying to move to Las Vegas by yourself. Use a real estate agent who knows the right places to live, with the best neighborhoods, with the right school zone that fits you and your family's lifestyle. If you try to piecemeal moving into the area without consulting a real estate agent, you might get yourself into some trouble, or you may not see something. You might be tunnel vision. I have to just get to Vegas, when really you got to think about, like, oh, well, what about the commute? Well, what about the home? What if the home structures this? You get the idea. You want to be in the right place for you, so that way you can thrive, and that your home is an oasis away from work or any other obligation that you may have. You want to have the home to be your retreat, where you can get to rest and then get back up and be present at your job or your work or for your family every single time. Again, and the Las Vegas housing market has its own quirks. Like, there's some places that are really great, really nice, going to cost a lot of money, but there's also some places that are really cheap, and maybe you're going to get an older home built in the 40s on the east side of Henderson. Hey, every place has their own difference, and one is not better than the other. It just depends on you, what you want. It's just have that conversation with me. Let's make sure that we get you to the right decision, the right place, so that way we can get you in the right proper atmosphere to be the best you that you can be. So we've covered 10 mistakes that I see clients make when they come into Las Vegas and they relocate into Vegas. So pay attention to all those things. And just to recap, okay, the first one is not spending enough time learning about the neighborhood. The second one is underestimating how warm it is here in the summertime. Mistake number 3 is not doing enough research on the HOA document. I understand you're going to get thrown a lot of things to sign in a purchase when you're in contract somewhere. You're just going to sign everything. Read the HOA document, because there might be something in there that you do not agree with, and we need to keep searching for a house. It's better to not spend the money, get your EMD back and earnest money deposit, get that all back, and then let's continue to look for the right house and the right HOA with the right stuff. Number 4 is going to be not budgeting for utilities. Understand if you're coming from a Northwest state and your electricity bill in the summertime is $50, and you come out here and your electricity bill is $500. That's a earth-shattering jar. Like, oh my God, it's spent $5. You have to be aware of that. So budget for your utilities. Number 6 is transportation, knowing that you need a car to live here. Again, if you can't drive a car for whatever reason, that's fine, just Uber. But again, if you come here from DC or Chicago or New York or Boston where there's subways, it's not going to be that kind of lifestyle. Okay, number 6 is for families. When you ignore your school zones, make sure you know your school zones and you want to be in the right place at the right time. Hold your home value. Make sure your kids stay in the same zone over time. Number 7 is misjudging commute times. And it has been getting worse because we're having a lot of people move here. So make sure that you are judging your commute times appropriately. Number 8 is getting a home inspection. I've seen it. Get your home inspection and then request repairs. And number 9 is going to be timing your move to be in the spring or the fall. The winter is fine as well, but spring and fall is best, where you're looking at like 75 to 85 degrees, which is 30-something degrees cooler than most of the year from that June through September timeline. And then the last one is trying to do it without me as your real estate agent. Okay, so that being said, if you would like the relocation guide, it's down in the description below. Click the link. Get the relocation guide, and if you want to have an in-depth conversation about potentially moving here to Las Vegas, I have my calendar down below. Please hit the link. Let's schedule some time. No pressure from me. That's not how I do business. And let's have a conversation about you moving into Las Vegas. And please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please have a comment down below. What are some things that you made mistakes with when you moved to Las Vegas? Or do you have any questions about what you might want to be paying attention to when you are moving here to Las Vegas? Without further ado, we'll see you in the next video.